It's hot today. Okay guys, so it's been about a week since the Suicide Squad's come out, and you guys know I was talking about it a lot leading up to it, and so I wanted to kind of give you guys my opinion about it. Now this is going to be a spoiler-filled video. I'm going to talk about things of the movie that I liked and didn't like, so hopefully you guys have seen the movie so you guys can, you know, kind of catch on with what I'm going to be doing and talking about. Unless you just don't care about spoilers and you're going to go see it anyway, so might as well know a few things going in. Now I'm also going to let you guys know that I am not going to be becoming a movie review channel or anything like that. Saturdays is when I talk about things that I like, or, you know, fun videos. So, like, I like comic books, I like, you know, the characters in the Suicide Squad and their individual comics. So it makes sense for me to talk about a movie that has a cornucopia of all these wonderful villains inside of a movie. So with that being said, and all the disclaimers being disclaimed, let me go ahead and start off by saying that I'm probably one of the small percentage of people that like this movie. Seriously, I really did enjoy this movie for a number of reasons. First of all, Will Smith as Deadshot owned the movie. I mean, he is technically the main character of the whole thing. He's the leader of the Suicide Squad. I think the dynamic between Deadshot and his daughter is really, really cool because he does what he does for money and because it's kind of all he knows. But he's still trying to be a father. He's still trying to show his daughter that, you know, he's still a good person even though he kills for money. And I love that scene when Batman comes in to take him to the asylum that Viola Davis's character has them locked up in. Because he's in the streets, you know, Batman comes down and he's getting ready to take him away, and Deadshot is about to shoot Batman, and his daughter steps in the middle of him and says, hey, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. So Deadshot puts the gun down, he allows himself to be arrested by Batman. I think that's really cool because as a fan, I wasn't really expecting a lot of depth to the characters. I was just expecting us to know their backstories, what they do, what their powers are if they have any. And that really be it. That's really what all I was looking for. But we got more than that. We got some heart and we got some character development on a few characters. Now, of course, I gotta talk about Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn owns the role. I told y'all I felt like she was going to be Harley Quinn, and she was exactly Harley Quinn. She is every bit as Harley Quinn as Heath Ledger was to the Joker. Like, it's like that role was made for her. She nailed it out of the park, man. The backstory with her and the Joker, you know, as fans, we already knew what happened. She was Harleen Quinzel, and the Joker was her patient in Arkham Asylum, and he got her to be in love with him, and through that, he tortured her mind and made her really insane. The acid bath scene where Joker pushes her into the acid and, you know, bleaches her skin, I felt like that was a really well-directed scene of the movie. Because, you know, it gets her falling in and Joker's gonna turn around and just walk away from her, but, you know, he's like, no, and he takes his jacket off and falls into the acid with her. I feel like that was a really good shot scene. Plus, Harley is also like another main character to this whole thing. It is a movie centered around Deadshot and Harley Quinn, with everybody else kind of there in the background. And that's okay for me. I don't need every single player of the team to have a shining moment in the movie. Give me a couple of main characters, or three, that can carry the movie and have the rest of the squad follow their lead. That's just fine with me. I don't require to see Captain Boomerang throw a lot of boomerangs at people to be happy with this movie. I don't require Katana to go splashing around everybody. I don't require Killer Croc to eat somebody. I definitely didn't require Slipknot in the movie, so, I mean, he does die at a good time, I think. That's another thing. I was sitting at home the other day and I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, what is Slipknot going to do? He can just use ropes and climb tall buildings really fast. Like, okay, what was his purpose there? So I think it's good that they killed him off pretty quickly. And let me touch on Jai Courtney real quick. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang was very good. Jai Courtney has a reputation of not being the best actor on the planet, but in this role in particular, he actually did do fairly well, in my opinion. He had some good points where he actually made me laugh really hard, especially when he's talking to El Diablo, and to me it was just a great scene. Now, of course, let's talk about what everybody is going to talk about, Jared Leto as the Joker. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys, I liked it. I'm not upset with how they used the Joker either, because in the Suicide Squad comics, he is a side character in those. He doesn't really become a main character of the squad until later on in the comics when he becomes a member. So with that being said, I think they did the Joker justice for what he was supposed to be doing at this point in this franchise. I'm assuming they're going to make more than one movie, so I would personally rank Jared Leto's Joker as my third favorite Joker, because for me, Heath Ledger's still number one. Then number two for me is Mark Hamill. 3 is Jared Leto, and 4 is Jack Nicholson. And I like the fact that David Ayer was not afraid to give us a new Joker with the tattoos and the grill and everything like that. I thought that was actually a good call. And Jared Leto said it best. The Joker is somebody that you can really do anything you want with. There are so many different sides of him that we can put onto a big screen. And so really he's kind of a character that's up for interpretation because he is so off the wall and does things very bizarrely, but also very cynical and smart at the same time. So I liked how they used the Joker, and I like Jared Leto as the Joker. Now, let me talk about Cara Delevingne as Enchantress. I was very surprised by how they used Enchantress, and that to me is a negative of the movie. I mean, sure, I've known from the comics that she's very unstable, she has a mind of her own, and she's gonna do what she wants to do. However, I was not thinking that they would open up a portal to another dimension and try and fry the world with her gigantic CGI brother Incubus. That's not exactly where I thought they were going to be going with the movie, but I mean, whatever. I really do wish that Enchantress would have stayed with the squad though to try and take him out. Like, she left her family because she didn't like what they were trying to do and she used her powers. Even though she was still evil, she was using her powers to try and get back at her family rather than helping them, and that's what I wish would have happened. Plus, the way that they dressed her up, like, after the first, 15 minutes of screen time for her, it just made her look like Katy Perry from the Dark Horse video, and I wasn't necessarily digging it. To me, she should have stayed the way that she looked in the beginning, where she looked like Gollum. That, to me, is a great representation of Enchantress. But Cara Delevingne did play her well, and I also believe she played June Moon very well. I do like how she becomes Enchantress when all she has to say is Enchantress, and that hand comes up from under hers and flips over, and she becomes Enchantress. And to me, it's really, really cool. I also want to touch on Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag was also very good. He was the leader, he was kind of the snarky soldier that we kind of all wanted him to be. He was definitely on Amanda Waller's chain, and I think that's how it was supposed to be. Now let's talk about Amanda Waller. I love Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. To me, she's exactly like Margot Robbie and Heath Ledger for their respective characters. She just makes that character. I don't think a lot of people realize that Amanda Waller in the comics is actually a bad person, like she's actually a villain. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. She is a villain, and she's going to do villainous things. But there's one part of the movie I didn't really understand, and that was when she just kills 5 people in a boardroom, and it was because they weren't properly trained to understand the information they were talking about. And of course, Flag and Deathshot are like, okay. To me, it was just a little bit weird. I don't think she would have done that, number one, and number two, I don't think that Rick Flag and Deadshot would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, do you. That's just my opinion, though. Really, the negatives I had for this movie was the fact that they had the portal that leads to another dimension cliche, the CGI bad guy cliche, and the romance between Rick Flag and Enchantress was also very unnecessary, in my opinion. Now, of course, in the comics, June Moon and Rick Flag do have a relationship. I don't know, for this movie, we didn't need to see as much of it as we did. It was almost like a second plot to the movie. Granted, one could argue that that's kind of the same thing with Harley Quinn and the Joker, but Harley Quinn and the Joker makes sense because the Joker's trying to get her out of the squad so that he can have her for his own use. So that makes sense to me. But the whole June Moon and Rick Flag thing should have been a very small percentage. That should have just been in the backstory and just leave it at that. And speaking of Harley Quinn and the Joker trying to get Harley out of the Suicide Squad, that scene where they're all on the roof and the Joker pulls up in a helicopter and this guy's, just wrecking the roof with a Gatling gun and Joker's up there with a machine gun just laughing. To me, that was a good scene. To me, that was that's the Joker. And of course, Harley being the crazy, Stockholm Syndrome girl that she is to the Joker, just walks right on up there, and she jumps onto a rope, and Deadshot is told by Amanda Waller to kill her because she's trying to escape. And Deadshot shoots her, but he intentionally misses because he doesn't kill women or children. And of course, it brings up this dynamic of, oh, Deadshot never misses. Why did he miss? But it's because he doesn't kill women or children, so. Plus, the ending for me, when the Joker comes into Harley's cell when she's back at the asylum or whatever, to me, that really didn't need to happen. I think you could have just left that out. Because we all know that when the helicopter goes down and Harley thinks the Joker's dead, he ain't dead. To me, you could have had another kind of tidbit in there, maybe have her reading a letter from the Joker, or maybe have a package sent to her from the Joker, and it makes her realize that he's still alive and stuff. I don't know, the ending just seemed kind of wonky to me with them ending it the way that they ended it. And some of the dialogue in the movie was okay. I wish they would have had a little bit more banter between the characters, but all in all, I followed the plot of the movie and I enjoyed the little jokes that happened here and there. So I don't believe it deserves as much hate as it's getting from not just fans but critics alike. I think people are expecting way too much out of this movie and it's kind of being a disappointment to them. I went into this movie very, very cautious and I walked out very happy. So I'm not going to like rate the movie or anything like that because like I said, I'm not a reviewer, I'm just a fan telling you how I felt about the movie. You can make your own assumption based on that, you're smart, come on. So do tell me in the comment section below, what did you guys think about the Suicide Squad? And if you liked the video, then of course like the video. Also hit that subscribe button if you're new to me. Follow me on my social medias, they'll be up here and in the description box below. And share this video with any other Suicide Squad fans that you know of so that they can kind of talk in the comment section below as well. And click down here to see the last video that I did, and I will see you guys in the next one.